Welcome to 5 single-player strategy games with tons of replayability. But what's more important is these ones stand out in immersion, authenticity, and realism. However, there is one that's a bit of a surprise on the list, and I hope you guys enjoy that one as well. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be Combat Mission, Battle for Normandy, or the Combat Mission series in general. Let's dive in. So the sheer amount of single-player content is nothing to blink at. There are 4 challenging campaigns, 21 standalone scenarios, and tons of quick battle maps that will test your tactics and strategy. There are 67 vehicles, various small arms, and heavy weapons. But that's just getting started. That's not what makes combat missions so authentic, so immersive, and so much fun to play. Combat mission, there's something else. There's a secret sauce to combat mission, and I'm going to explain to you what that is right now. And the main ingredient to that sauce is creating immersive and authentic combat experiences. Watching tanks crest a hill, coming under heavy anti tank fire, watching your infantry be mowed down or mowed down infantry under heavy machine gun fire, or just really capturing a cinematic battle that you can replay over and over again. These moments can be shared with friends, they can be shared online, and they can just be recorded. And just remember, they create these really firm, nostalgic moments that it's hard to create in other war games. And that's really why Combat Mission is a standout game on this list. Barring all the content it comes with, the sheer endless replayable single player content, or even the countless iterations in the series, there's so much to enjoy, love, and play in Combat Mission. And it's one of those games I don't want you to miss out on just because the graphics seem slightly dated, or maybe the mechanics seem too challenging. It's one of those games you're going to have fun with no matter what. And once you learn how to play it, how to put the foundation, the skills you need to overcome the enemy, it'll become like a drug. You'll become addicted to solving strategies, resolving tactics, and overwhelming your opponent. You may even find yourself on the multiplayer battlefields, taking on actual real life opponents, where the challenge is insane because they're going to try and outmaneuver you, they're going to try and trick you, and then it's going to feel like a real battle, or at least a real simulated battle. Overall, you won't find your time regretting playing Combat Mission. You'll miss it more than anything else, and you'll want to come back to those scenarios and you want to replay them and try and get those wins where you get 0 casualties. Something that's just not true in war, but it's something to strive for and something we should all attempt to achieve. However, personally, I just love going into the meat grinder and grinding my way through it, trying different strategies, utilizing different mechanics, and just trying to overwhelm my opponent in just fun, unique, and challenging and probably trollish ways. There's so much content, there's so much to play, and there's so many games in the series that you're not going to miss out on anything. You're going to be able to play the Eastern Front, Modern, Cold War, or even just like several fronts in the world in World War II, or even hypothetical situations. And then you can go over and download a ton of mods for Combat Mission. Check it out, guys. Check it out. Truly, it's a good game. It would be a disservice to not talk about Graviteam Tactics, especially when it comes to single player content, or even if we highlight immersive, cinematic, authentic, and realistic gameplay. Graviteam Tactics shines in all of those departments. It gets its hooks in you and it refuses to let go. The developers continue to update it, they continue to create reiterations of it, and it's by far one of the best World War II simulators on the market right now, and it's one of the best games and it has so much single player content. I constantly find myself coming back to it to either play the content I already have or to just dive into the battle editor and create fun ambushes and just try new tactics or just learn the mechanics of Graviteam Tactics because it's so insanely deep. There's so much to learn and there's so many mechanics that I don't fully have a grasp on. And it's just something I want every developer to play at least once or twice to see how to design like a fun tactical experience because it has a lot of things that other war games don't. And I'm really surprised that a lot of people haven't adapted the mechanics from Graviteam Tactics. It's almost shocking at this point. Like I know I'm saying shocking, but just the ability to disperse your squad or assign different formations to armored columns or give them different types of orders or just even the move behind armored mechanic. Like why are these features just in Graviteam Tactics? Why do I really need to manage that in other war games. So when it comes to Graviteam Tactics, all of those things are streamlined. They make an authentic experience. They make an immersive experience. When you tell your units to fall behind the tanks and use them for cover, your tanks and your infantry are going to approach a heavily fortified position with the tanks in front, the infantry behind. Or if you're like trying to assault a village, it's going to create a real fun, authentic experience where you can like execute fun, realistic strategies, or you can just get blown up by the Panzerfaust that's just sitting in the building. There are a lot of ways Graviteam Tactics can improve, and I would like to see them continue to improve and reiterate the gameplay. But overall, it's just one of those games where I feel like people overlook it, or they just get too caught up in the UI and they don't see the gem or the mechanics beneath it that are a lot of fun. Because I remember when I started the channel, it was so hard to find content on Graviteam Tactics, whether it's like cinematic gameplay, tutorials, or anything else. And it's a good starting place if you're a creator because you can create really fun, really authentic videos. So if you're like a stranger to Graviteam Tactics or just looking for a good single player game to play, I mean, it's for you. I mean, it's the Eastern Front, it's World War II. There's like DLCs that cover more modern areas, and it's a ton of fun to play. And if you don't play it, you're going to miss out on one of the most authentic experiences. I think at the end of the day, the Forge large scale operations for the Red Army and the Germans are going to hold your attention for quite a long time. And then there's hundreds of detailed vehicles that were either produced by the USSR, Germany, US, UK, and there's actually a battle editor where I've spent a ton of time just creating fun scenarios or even just trying to explain mechanics on the channel. The UI's been fixed, there's constant improvements, and you're just gonna have a lot of fun. And I'm hopeful to see more modern DLCs because I really, really enjoyed their Iran Iraq War DLC. And I'm just hoping they continue to evolve the game into more fronts and kind of just step a bit away from the Eastern Front sometimes. Now it's time to dive into World War III with a Cold War gone hot, realistic, immersive, and authentic simulator. This is Warno, also known as Warning Order. It just released into 1.0 with a ton of single player content. We're talking upwards of 100 hours of gameplay. And by the time you get through all of that single player content, there's going to be tons of DLCs already flooding the market for you to pick up and download. A lot of people think Warno is primarily a multiplayer game, and it does seem that way at times. However, there is a skirmish mode, which for some reason a lot of games are missing lately, but Warno definitely included that, and a lot of people, a lot of just war gamers in general, really enjoy that skirmish mode. So if you're just looking to dive into Warno and to avoid the PvP onslaught, definitely check out the skirmish mode because that's just going to be endless replayability in and of itself. Now let's dive into what you get with Warno and what Warno is. So Warno immediately launches with 5 army general campaigns varying in size from short, medium to long. There's 8 operations, that's this gameplay right here. There's 18 divisions and over 1,000 units expertly researched, modeled, and voice lines. 6 nations to include the United States, West Germany, the United Kingdom, and France. The Soviet Union, East Germany, and the Warsaw Pact for the Warsaw Pact. It is a ton of fun. It's one of those games where you actually don't need to come back update to update. You're just going to play it. Play it if you enjoy this type of content. You're always going to have that itch to play Warno, especially when you want that fun, quick, kind of clicky experience where it's just more of an arcade feel, but it's a ton of fun to play at the same time. That's what you're going to get with Warno, and it's going to continue to be supported and updated for a long time. So if you're worried about it being abandoned or just going away, that's something you don't need to worry about. At least with this developer, personally, I think they really made several things casual for Warno. I really enjoy the new AI to kind of like set your units, the standard operating procedures as it's known. I really think that allows a new audience to pick it up and play it without having to worry about so much intense micro. Although if you don't enjoy Warno or you don't enjoy the Cold War Gone Hot, there's obviously Steel Division 2, and there's the Steel Division 44, which is more of a Western Front game. So you have your Eastern Front, your Western Front, and your Cold War Gone Hot. Definitely check out this series. There's an insane amount of replayable content and a ton of single player content. Welcome back to World War II. We cannot talk about World War II if we do not talk about the Close Combat series. This one, though, is Close Combat: The Bloody First. It's the first attempt to bring the series into the 3D world, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. Personally, I really enjoyed my time with The Bloody First. I thought it was a ton of fun to play. There's 3 theater campaigns, there's one grand campaign, 36 battles, and 11 operations. Over 50 different vehicles to include infantry and heavy weapons, 300 plus heavy weapon teams, and over 100 plus weapons. There is so much content here, it's borderline ridiculous. However, there is a new 3D engine, and I know a lot of people did not pick up the 3D engine and enjoy it as much as they thought they would. However, this is the first close combat game I played, and I had a ton of fun with it. I thought it was so much fun. The AI is a bit wonky, but this battle in particular, it's so much fun to replay it. It's just fun to like drive your Shermans through these towns, to drop artillery, to just corner the Germans, blow them up, and just drive forward. There's so much content here. I really enjoy the pace of the battles. They're not so quick. They're just like your infantry get pinned down, they take up heavy positions, and there's like an exchange of gunfire, similar to Graviteam Tactics, where your units just don't instantly die or instantly get blown up. There's an actual firefight that breaks out, to say more or less. And I think that really creates these fun experiences because it allows you to get down to the unit level. You can kind of just like block out the rest of the battle. You can watch the battle unfold, and you can just see your units use the M1 Grands or the Thompsons or watch the tanks fire. And it creates a real fun, authentic, immersive experience, and it really brings you into the battle. It's something I enjoyed. It's one of the reasons why I keep coming back to close combat and why I actually explored the close combat series to include close combat modern tactics, I believe, or modern warfare, which is a really good performing video on this channel, and a lot of people tend to pick it up because it's $5. You're going to enjoy this game, and if you enjoy the series, there's an absolute massive amount of content for you to dive into. If this isn't your game, then you can go down to like the like 10 other close combat games where they're 2D, they're more authentic, they're more fun. You can drive your tanks on the battlefield and just overall just have fun World War II combat and really enjoy that experience. Personally, I enjoy this one. I enjoy the modern tactics. I like that modern feel. I also like that 3D feel. So it's just something I truly enjoyed. Overall, I think you're going to enjoy it, especially if you watch this channel and you enjoy these types of videos. And it's actually a really good single player game. I had a ton of fun, and I know there's a realism mod out for it. So if you really want to look at that realism mod, then you can just download that as well. That's something I did, although I didn't find time to play it. So there is a small modding area for it, or a small modding team. Check it out, guys. I love these graphics. I love this game. Like, this is Song of Conquest. It's a turn-based strategy game inspired by the 90s classics. So like Heroes of Might and Magic 1 through, I don't know, 3. And it's so much fun. And I know it's not the normal game we highlight or showcase on this channel, but it's something new. It's something refreshing. And it's something that succeeded in early access, similar to Warno, how it succeeded in early access. So you're going to like wage battles against armies. You can kind of move your units on the battlefield. It is a ton of fun to play. And yeah, you're playing as like a magician or like someone who's extremely powerful, but anything that really involves strategy and tactics to me is a lot of fun to play. It doesn't have to be World War II. It doesn't have to be Cold War. It doesn't have to be modern space or sci-fi. It can actually be high fantasy or fantasy in general, and I will have a ton of fun with it. And like I always say, if it's a game I enjoy, I know everyone here is going to enjoy it. You build empires. I hate it when they say you manage resources, but you do like manage your resources. I mean, there's no better words for it. You research new advancements. It has a similar 4X feel, and it's just like it's a ton of fun. And I just like going to war, going to battle, and I like the PvP aspect and the PvE. And there's a ton. I mean, it's one of those games that could be like endlessly replayable in the same vein. I mean, the graphics are just something to behold. I really love that pixelated art style. I like the magic you get to wield, and it's just something to play when you're burnt out on watching tanks go at it. And you may discover a whole new genre that you want to dive in and that you want to play. You're going to combine troops, you're going to use spells, you're going to do insane amounts of damage, and you use all different kinds of forces. And you can like, there's ranged units, and so there's like combined arms tactics. You know, you have your long range artillery like your magician, your mage, you have your short range, so your archers. You have your front line, your spearmen, your axemen, your swordsmen, your shields, and you can create some real fun, real epic battles and really create these nostalgic and fun memories. Especially with the graphics, it really brings me back, I would say, to the 90s, but the 90s were an absolute blur for me because I was like 10 at the time. So maybe like the early 2000s, when I was really computer gaming, but even then I was playing Command and Conquer and Red Alert. So it's just, I'm new to this type of series. I'm new to this genre. So let me know what you guys think of Song of Conquest. And as always, if you enjoy these types of videos, share the video. It really helps the channel. Leave likes, leave comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if, like, I'm not being completely truthful. That's always something good to hear. And you're just gonna play your way, and that's what this game is. It comes with 4 factions. You can just have a ton of fun, and then I think you're going to have a good time with it. Plus, there's a map editor and obviously a Discord. So check it out if you enjoy high fantasy, if you just enjoy tactics in general, or if you just enjoy like dominating the battlefield in all ways possible, whether that be Cold War, World War II, high fantasy, sci-fi, or anything else. You will find something here to enjoy. I know I say that all the time, but the tactical combat and the strategic decision making is so much fun in these games, and I really enjoy playing them. So share the video, like the video, comment on the video, tell me all the positive things about these games you love.